getting quiet. I assume it's time, and looks like, according to my phone, it's straight up 4 o'clock. So I'd like to go ahead and call this special meeting to order on this, the 6th of January, 2016. Special meeting of the Board of Trustees, Blaine County School District number 61. We do have a full quorum here present. We have Trustee Clayton, Trustee Corker, myself, Trustee Benyon. We also have with us our Superintendent, Dr. Gwen Carroll Holmes, Trustee Freund, and Trustee Bustos. Also, we have our interim board clerk, Ms. Lori Kaufman. I'd like to welcome everybody here, and we'll go ahead and get started and ask if there's any additions, corrections, modifications, or substitutions to the current agenda.
I have none.
Seeing none, I will go ahead and call for a motion pursuant to Idaho Code 74206-1A to consider hiring a public officer, employee, staff member, or individual agent wherein the respective qualities of individuals are to be evaluated in order to fill a particular vacancy or need, and pursuant to Idaho Code 74206-1B to consider the evaluation, dismissal, or disciplining of, or to hear complaints or charges brought against a public officer, employee, staff member, or individual agent or public school student.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, any discussion? Roll call vote. Trustee Clayton?
Aye.
Trustee Corker?
Aye.
Trustee Freund?
Aye.
Trustee Bustos?
Aye.
Trustee Benyon? Aye. All right, we will excuse ourselves to close the executive session and reconvene when finished. Appreciate your patience. All right, appreciate everybody's patience, and we are reconvened to open session. Move this on to item 5. Consideration of superintendent contract. Is there a motion on the table?
Yeah, I'd like to make a motion to offer the superintendent a 3-year fixed contract with a maximum payout for termination without cause of 1 year's salary only, not to include benefits.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
All right, discussion. And as I learned at Idaho State School Boards Association, the person who makes the motion gets to begin the discussion. So I'll turn the time over to Trustee Clayton.
Okay, what we're discussing tonight are executive session, which I'm not really privy to speak to the conversation within that. But the course of events that led us to this meeting tonight was a bit of a drawn-out process, and it was probably a result of some hasty action on the board on the 17th of November without actually having a complete good understanding of the open meeting laws, and we made some errors and mistakes. We rectified those mistakes on the December meeting. We cleaned the slate. We recalled those motions. We set this meeting in place. We have acted in good faith with the superintendent. I think we are making a offer to the superintendent that is fair both to her and to the school district. I don't believe we are doing anything that will expose the district to an excessive payout as has occurred in the past by actions of this board. And we are at the same time empowering the superintendent to continue with the work she has taken on and do, and show some confidence in her abilities and faith in the fact that she will do a good job for Blaine County School District. We also built into this that there is a termination clause so that if there is a falling out between the superintendent and the board, there is minimal exposure to the district, and that should be very clearly stated in this contract and to the community, so that you're not at risk in the future of an excessive payout.
Further discussion? Okay, I'd just like to say before we move forward as well, one of the biggest responsibilities we have as members of the Board of Trustees is to hire the superintendent. We appreciate the patience of everyone here. Dr. Holmes, as we took the time to gather, we gathered feedback from staff. We will not be releasing the staff survey that went out because it is tied to evaluation, and as such, under Idaho code, is privy, because it ties to the superintendent's job performance and evaluation. Idaho code 33-513 is very specific in the area of superintendent evaluations. That the Board of Trustees shall conduct an annual written formal evaluation of the work of the superintendent of the district. The evaluation shall indicate the strengths and weaknesses of the superintendent's job performance in the year immediately preceding the evaluation and the areas where improvements in the superintendent's job performance in the view of the Board of Trustees is called for. We did that last year. We are continuing in that process this year. We have not finished up the written formal evaluations, the written formal evaluation and the goal setting for the year to come. We will be scheduling future meetings to finalize that process. Will be the second time that we've evaluated Dr. Holmes since she was hired. We as a Board of Trustees, the only two members at that time were Liz and I, when Dr. Holmes was hired. We vetted and made the best decision we could. I'm very pleased to work with Dr. Holmes and to continue to work with Dr. Holmes. We're going to be facing some challenges. Budget shortfalls is right in front of us. Implementing the strategic plan, implementation of the Common Core standards. One of the huge issues we're going to be facing is we have an aging staff. That's a very staff that's rapidly approaching retirement age, and hiring teachers in Idaho is difficult. And 40% of our staff is eligible for retirement within the next 5 years. That's a whole lot of staff members that we're going to have to look at replacing as we look at the budgets, as we look at justifying each position as it comes up. That's a whole lot of staff, a whole lot of teachers in front of our kids. Where are those going to come from? That's going to be one of the challenges that we're going to be facing. But I look forward to tackling these challenges with Dr. Holmes' leadership. I think it's going to take stability. I think it's going to take a team effort by the board as well as our superintendent as we move forward through these tough, difficult challenges that we're facing. Much after our last superintendent, we did away with the rolling contract. We've standardized to a fixed contract here in Blaine County. We're maintaining that same fixed term contract. We've tried to nail it down a little closer to where we are minimizing the exposure to our community. We're very mindful of the taxpayers' money. We don't want to put the taxpayers at any larger risk than we have to. And I'd like to give thanks to Dr. Holmes that not every superintendent would be willing to do that. So, I want to thank Dr. Holmes and Carol. Thank you for your patience, for your collaboration with us as a board, with the community, for your leadership, even though you didn't know whether you had a job. I appreciate your willingness to be frank, to be honest with us, and to have the opportunity to retain you as our superintendent. Any further comments from the board prior to the vote?
I just would like to say that I look forward to now starting the discussion about education. Because I feel like, personally, since I've come here, we've talked about a treasurer and we've talked about a contract. A few other little things, but I joined the board in July, and I really look forward now to working together and tackling some of the issues I'm talking about soon.
All right. I'd just like to add too that I'd like to thank the community for all of the passion and feedback that we received during the last 2 months. It has come from both sides, probably equally. When when I start to tally up the comments and the emails and the conversations that I have. And that passion should not be lost on us as a group. We need to be cognizant and listen to concerns of all citizens. And we need to strive to do our best job and to work diligently to improve the processes and practices that we have in front of us and the challenges that we have to take on. I feel that at this juncture, instability in leadership would lead to a very critical situation for this district moving forward, because we have bigger challenges than simply human resource on the immediate horizon. Those things will need to be addressed. They will need to be addressed in a very significant and challenging way. They will be hard decisions. This decision will be easy in terms of that decision-making process when we get into cutting, trimming, and making changes in the current existing program so that we are on level ground and not having to draw down from our general fund balance. We are in a very challenging situation, and I appreciate Dr. Holmes sitting through the last couple of months with ebbs and flows and ups and downs, and she's still willing to work with us and work with that challenge on the horizon. This would be a great time to maybe say, thank you very much, I've got something else going for me. And she chose not to do that. She chose to stick with us. And I personally value loyalty, and I believe she's demonstrated that. So, we'll leave it at that.
Dr. Holmes?
I just want to echo Trustee Florian's desire to get back to talking about students. That's why we all come to work every day in Blaine County School District. They are our most important resource that we have in the county. And I know our staff come to work every day focused on making sure there's good nutrition, excellent facilities, the world's best educators standing in front of our kids, support services when our students need them. The amazing job that our staff does and continues to do over the last 6 months when there has been controversy over one thing after another. So I would like to thank them for that and say I too look forward to getting back to that. Being able to fulfill our plan of ensuring that all students are inspired, engaged, educated, and empowered is going to be huge. That is huge work, and that's where all this energy needs to be going in. I'm excited to work with you.
All right. With that, I will go ahead and call for a roll call vote. Trustee Clayton?
Aye.
Trustee Corker?
Nay.
Trustee Bustos?
Nay.
Trustee Floyd?
Aye.
And Trustee Bennion? Aye. Congratulations. It has passed with a 3-2 majority vote. And with that, do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion. A second.
Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting adjourned at 6:07.